Please welcome the Supernatural panel. Do it up, Jared, Alaina, Mark.
How are y'all standing in this sauna?
Yes.
Well, funny you should ask. Mark and Alaina asked me the same question, and I said, I'm just committing to it. Like, I'm gonna sweat no matter what, so I may as well have an excuse. Like, I wouldn't be sweating, but this beanie, and I'm just kind of committed.
Yeah, it'll keep it.
It holds in, oh yeah.
Yeah, 10% of your body heat it goes through your head. So you're actually much hotter without I think he should start taking things off. I mean, I don't mean to volunteer
That's
you
fine,
for
that's
that
fine.
kind of thing.
And that's appreciated, but I think they think I'm already hot.
I know you do, but you'd think he's hotter with clothes or without clothes. I don't mean to put you on the spot. I'm not.
It's okay, I feel it.
One thing has come off. We're almost there, guys.
Your card's right.
Yeah, warning, next are the shoes and socks. Thank y'all for bringing us out here. Who's first time meeting the gang? Welcome. Well, we've been on for 20 fucking years, so what took so long? Kidding. Fair. Grateful to be here. Don't want to waste y'all's time. I know there are a lot of people standing up in the sun, so let's get to it. Yeah.
We'll start on this side of the room, and you guys can share a mic. Is that cool?
Yeah.
All right, let's.
I don't know. He's fucking Lucifer.
Yeah.
I need this. I'm sorry.
I ain't sharing shit.
I'll tell you what. When I work this side of the room, I'll take the mic back.
I've already infected you. I'm just saying.
Truth.
Okay,
Hi, how are you? I think you're not on. She said I'm good, which is a good start, but I think only we could hear that.
Do you have a favorite Supernatural episode?
Do I? Yeah, there are a few to choose from. I have different favorite episodes. Some are my favorite to watch, some were my favorite to film, and some, frankly, were my favorite because I loved what was happening in my life when we shot the episode. I'll say this. My wife, who I love deeply and miss her very much, we started dating in season 4, and there's an episode in season 4 called On the Head of a Pin. It's Alistair, and Sam comes in, and Jen and I had only been dating for like 2 months. And so I think I had like 1 day to shoot and just come in and my nose starts bleeding and I say I can't just exorcise demons, I can kill them, and I kill the demon and went straight from there on vacation with my then girlfriend and soon to be fiance, soon to be wife and mother of my kids, Jen. So that's as weird of an episode as that was. To film, I just remember that time in my life. It was January of 2009. So that's what's coming to my. But again, it depends if I'm in a funny mood or in a sad mood. But I appreciated them so much. Do you have a favorite episode?
I like them all.
But you ask us the question about. Do y'all go back to anything?
I do. I love Yellow Fever. It's one of my favorite. Of course, The French Mistake. And Baby is one of my favorites. Yeah, wasn't that great? Yeah. The great Thomas Wright directed that.
I think it's so cool that you mentioned that, because I think so often, like, people ask me all the time, like, what is your favorite character to play? And I always say, like, they're so, like, it's like your kids, like, they're so individual and unique and you fall in love with them in different ways. But there's so much truth to be said about when we're making these shows, like, we're living our real lives. And like one show that was so important to me, and I know we're talking about Supernatural here, but Stargate Universe was like a really great time in my life. That 2 years, it was like the best my marriage ever was. It was probably the happiest I ever was. And so there's just like this resonance when you're filming these shows and you have these really fond memories, and that's a really nice, significant reminder. So I love that was really special for you and Jen.
Amen. Okay, I think we are over here now. Or no, we're just kidding. Ha ha ha. We're
Y'all
over
get
here
to
now.
stay in the sun.
Got it.
Okay.
I have a two-parter. Who is your favorite celebrity guest star on Supernatural? And if you could trade places and play any one of those celebrity guest stars, who would it be?
Gosh. Good question. Funny enough, I was asked about somebody today, so she's fresh on my mind. It was fun to have Paris Hilton. And I mean it, because I had done House of Wax with her, I think 6 or 7 years prior. And so when she got cast as Paris Hilton on Supernatural, everybody ran up to me and they were like, "How's Paris? Like, tell us the dirt." And I was like, "She's really sweet. Like, she's really hardworking. She's going to show up on time. She's going to know her lines." Like, I worked with her for 4 or 5 months in Australia, and she was a darling the entire time. And so sure shit, she showed up on time, and no posse or entourage. She kind of showed up, and she's like, "Okay, like, where do I go?" And so everybody was coming up to me afterwards like, "You're right, she's really sweet." And I was like, I told you. So that's my answer probably to the first part. I guess if I could play any of the characters, and I never really got to do this, and all the stuff I got to play on Supernatural, I would have loved to have played a Crossroads Demon, so I would have taken Snooki, Nicole Polizzi's role, and had a good time with the boys. That's me.
That sounds like a Jared question, though, not necessarily a question for me. But I have to say, I loved House of Wax, by the way. I'm a horror guy, and I really did like that movie quite a bit. And I have a Paris Hilton story, too. She was at the TCAs. I think I was there for the Tomorrow People. And my wife was like, "You have to get a picture with Paris Hilton." I'm like, "Please don't make me get a picture with Paris Hilton." Thinking the same thing, that it was going to be just a crazy thing. Finally, she's like, "Please," for Misha, her son. I ended up going, "All right, fine." I went up to her, and she was the nicest person I had ever met. She was really, really fantastic. That's my Paris Hilton story. Anyway.
I also have met Paris, and she's lovely. I'm
There you
glad
go.
we all know Paris Hilton's amazing.
Yeah, we have a winner. Thank you for coming, and thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Hi.
What is the funniest thing that's ever happened on set, either to you or that you witnessed?
What is the funnest thing? Funniest thing. As far as on Supernatural, I ripped my pants. And I was kind of embarrassed, but then also kind of proud because I've been working out a lot. And I was like, yeah, those glutes are popping. It made the gag reel. I'm in the I had a broken hand, I think I do now, but I'm with a shovel trying to like hit the ground, and my pants split open. So that was certainly unexpected, but now I'm like proud of it. Like, oh yeah, I used to be built. So yeah, I think that was kind of one of the craziest things that I went to. Luckily, by that point in time, I think it was season 2 of Supernatural, and so I kind of knew the crew, and the crew knew me, and we were able to laugh about it together. But that's certainly something as far as Supernatural goes. But on any project.
Yeah, so for me, we were shooting out on location. You weren't there on the set, but Mark Shepard was, and we had an outdoor shower. And Shepard decided to take a shower after the thing was done, and the curtain fell down, and he was completely fucking naked. And I saw because I'm making it up. I'm totally making it up. It's a lie. I just lied. I lied because I can't say anything. So I have to make, from now on, I
So
am
what
going to
happened
lie.
when he realized?
When he realized, he's like, "Oh my God," like this. "I'm fucking naked." I was like, "Yes, you are." took a picture and I put it on the internet. Posted it on, at the time, Twitter. And I only got like 3 likes. Yeah.
It was just Mark's 3 accounts. He was just like
his bot accounts. Yeah. That's hilarious.
Also, like, speaking of Twitter, there was a time, remember you guys used to, like, steal phones? Like, you could not, dinner was not safe with these guys.
You
would
stole
leave your
phones?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was stealing tweets. Like, he would steal, like, we'd be at dinner, and Jared was slick with it. He'd be like, oh, Rob, show me that picture of your kids. And Rob would be like, oh, okay, and you open your phone, so it's unlocked. And he's like, oh, that's so great. And then Jensen would be, like, talking to him about something else. Meanwhile, Jared would be on his phone, like, tweeting. I think one time he tweeted, I hate kids.
yes, I think from Misha's Twitter account at the time.
That's what it was.
I think I tweeted like, I hate kids, and then I went to my phone on my Twitter account and responded like, Misha, dude, that's public, not private. So he didn't know. But then
All the while, we're just like eating pasta
Yeah,
and drinking wine, and
Yeah.
he's like imploding careers.
like, hours go by. That have been said, I then went to dinner with a few of the gang in Chicago years ago, and my own prank got pulled on me, and I woke up. Okay. Somebody grabbed my phone, and I just went home and went to bed. Didn't check Twitter. And in the morning, and Matt Cohen and I are dear friends, but he doesn't usually call, he'll usually text. But I had like 7 missed calls from Matt Cohen, and I'm like, the hell? Like, it's 8 a.m. And so finally I kind of like look, and he has a voicemail, and his voicemail is, dude, check your Twitter. And I was like, okay. So I go to Twitter, and I had posted, I have a small...
Was it Misha?
Rhymes with Venus. And so I was like, okay, well, I can't get mad because that's like a taste of my own medicine. But I was like, I very much appreciated it. I think it was Fergus. I think it was Adam Fergus. Misha was there,
yeah,
but I think it was
but
Adam
Adam
Fergus
did
who did it. Yeah.
Okay, let's get some questions from this side of the room. We have 3
Let's do
over.
it. Thank you
3
so much
over-
for your question.
Yep, 3 over here, then we'll go back over there.
Hi, Jared. My name's Amaya. I'm 11 years old, and I'm from Columbus, Ohio. And my question for you was, what upcoming projects are you doing so I can tell my friends back at home?
Nice to meet you. Thank you so much for coming. For your friends back home, I don't have anything set in stone yet. I think I might be going to Vancouver soon to go play on a show called Fire Country with my friend Max Therio. Just for a couple episodes. Yeah. Have some fun up there. And then another show possibly in the new year that hopefully if your friends are 11, they won't watch, called The Boys. Again, don't tell your 11-year-old friends to download it, and please don't watch it either. I'd be mortified, but I don't know just yet. But I've been, since Walker didn't get picked up again, I've been spending a lot of time with my wife and our kids. I've been spending a lot of time with family and friends and enjoying the also heat and humidity down in Austin. So thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you. Next question.
All right, my name's Tim. I'm 34. But 2-part question. One, Jared, since I'm a horror fan, what was it like playing on Friday the 13th? And then also the second part, are we ever going to go and get a supernatural movie or the show come back?
Well, I'll grab that one. I'll answer your second question first, which is I think we're all up for it. I mean, I think we'd all love to go play in that sandbox again. And we already get to see each other in different cities, in different states, different countries at times. We all enjoy each other, and we have so many years of working together and knowing about each other's families, knowing each other personally. So I certainly hope. I think we're all on board. Like I don't think I've ever mentioned the possible reunion or reboot to anybody who's been a part of Supernatural, and they've been like, nope, not me. I think it's like, sure, yeah, let's go do it. So hopefully, I don't think it'd be another season of television, but I think it'd be maybe in my head it's like a 5 or 6 episode, hour and a half long episode streaming, reboot like the Gilmore Girls one or something. Yeah. Thank you. If y'all haven't noticed already, I like to plug my own shit casually. On that note, plugging Friday the 13th. It was great. There was some heaviness to it because I love horror movies as well, and I love the genre as well. So I didn't want to mess it up, frankly. But it was a great time. It was a 2-month shoot in Austin, Texas, before I lived there, and I had moved from San Antonio to Austin in 2000 to go to UT for college. Then got Gilmore Girls and was like, oh, I'll go back to UT someday. And so I hadn't really been there in 8 years. So it was fun to go. I love the cast, love the crew. I've seen all of them. So it was kind of like, just don't mess it up, dude. Don't mess it up. And I think we had a fun movie. So I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, thank you. Brother, thank you.
And your question?
Hi, guys. My question is for Jared and Mark. When you guys were filming the Lucifer and Sam scenes where you're just one-on-one and nobody else really can see what's happening, how do you get into the headspace to kind of handle that?
It's pretty easy for me to be in a headspace to be scared of Mark. It's funny, having done this for so long. I mean, we've all done hundreds of episodes of television. I think I'm just shy of 500 episodes of television. And so once you kind of know your craft and you know your character, then you can kind of bob and weave and vibe with other people's methods as well. And as far as I remember and can honestly say, it went really well. It was easy, and he's not method, I'm not method, so we could shoot the shit in between cut and action, and then they'd say, like, get to your marks and action and be back to it. And that's how I like to work in general anyways. Like, I want to sprint. When they call action, I want to sprint. I can't sprint all day long. So when they call cut, I want to make fart jokes, or I want to, get on. There was no TikTok at the time, but I don't have TikTok, I don't think. I might. But get on YouTube or read an article on the news. And then, because I know I've done my preparation, really easy to work with him and all the stuff that he brought, and Alaina as well. But if this question's about us, the stuff that he brought made it very easy to take the scenes places. And he challenged me for sure. I hope I did the same. But I had a great time.
As did I. It's very fun torturing him. I don't want anybody out there to do it at home, but it was quite fun. But I think there is a method to the madness of being loose and free in between takes. I think when I was younger, I used to think I had to take the part home with me and just saturate myself with it, and you really don't. As you get more mature in the work, you realize that play is actually the most important thing you can bring. Even if you have a really deep scene where he's freaking out and he's, in his head he's having a psychotic break, or I have a deep scene because my brother Gabriel tells me I'm a big bag of dicks or whatever, and it hurts my feelings. The best place you could be in is that open space, like a kid, where you take everything with that grain of play, and you're not trying to hit a mark. It just happens because you're free, you're free and playful. So to me, that's a great way to work. It's a great way to work.
Thank you so much. Hey there.
Hey, have any of you ever had a supernatural or spiritual encounter in real life?
So, I went to a haunted bed and breakfast with my wife, and there were supposedly 2 ghosts there. One was a little kid who was murdered. This is a church, by the way, a 19th century church that had been converted into a bed and breakfast. Sorry to be so dark about that one, but the other one was a priest. The priest, this is even more creepy than the kid, tucks you in at night, supposedly. I don't believe any of this stuff. I wanted to even walk around at night when everyone was asleep and look for the kid, but I'm sleeping. Suddenly my eyes pop open. It's about 3 a.m. My wife's asleep. My back is facing this French doors that went out to like a veranda. And I swear I feel someone standing over me. And I'm awake. I sort of like quietly pinch myself to make sure I'm awake. And then I feel fingers on the back of my neck, tickling my neck. And it was one of those moments where, like in a horror movie, you're like, you want to turn around really fast? Have you seen the horror movies? We're like, don't turn around.
Yeah.
Just don't look. Keep the covers over your head, and everything's going to be fine. That's not the case. And I flipped around real fast, and nothing was there. So I did get a call from Celebrity Ghost Stories. There was like, I guess that's a show. And I guess my ghost story wasn't good enough because they were like, did you see it? No. Well, and they kept like leading me down this path, and I'm like, exactly how many actors go down that path just to tell their ghost story on the show, I wondered. But that was the closest I've ever come to a paranormal experience. And I've had dreams that were really weird, though, that seemed like I was actually connecting with somebody who had just passed away. But that's about the extent of my quote-unquote paranormal. You guys have anything?
Yeah, it's not scary at all, but it was this feeling that I had. It was a few years ago. I was at an event and I was in a hotel and I was really sad. I was just having a very sad episode, and I couldn't sleep, and I was like tossing and turning, and I remember like praying and just asking for like some comfort. And I felt what I couldn't explain. Like, I didn't see it, I didn't hear it, I didn't feel it. I just felt like I got a hug from my grandmother. And I don't know why, other than that I know. And it was like, yes. It was the most comfortable, like I felt so loved. And it was a feeling, it was a knowing. You know, when people say like, it's just, you just know. And I just knew it in that moment. I had a great day the next day, and then a few years later, my girlfriend was having an event, and they hired a medium. She's like, oh, I'm having like a wine and whatever food night, and this medium is coming. And so we were all sitting in this circle, and I had this pin that my cousin had made. It had my grandparents on it from their 50th wedding anniversary on my coat, and she said something like, she's like, someone's wearing their grandmother on their coat. And I was like, oh, that's me. And she goes, your grandmother wants you to know that it was her that night. And I was like, I knew it. And it just gives me so much comfort. I was very close to my grandmother when she was alive. And so it just gives me like an affirmation that we're not alone, and that we're loved, and that we're supported. And yeah, I guess they're always there. But in that moment, I needed her so badly. And it was so beautiful.
I can't believe I just remembered that I had, oh my God. How could I forget this? I was in Australia at these gardens and a tea house with my wife. And we were at this big table alone. I'm like, I can't believe I forgot this. And I'm sitting there with my wife talking. It's the middle of the afternoon. The tea house is empty. And I sort of looked out the window, but out of the corner of my eye, I could have sworn my grandmother was sitting next to me. And I literally turned around. There's nothing there. And I went, I could have sworn I saw my grandmother sitting next to me. I called because I was sort of freaked out by it. She had just passed away. Now that's a paranormal experience. I can't believe you just reminded. I must have put that in the back of my mind. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that was crazy.
Wow. Awesome. Awesome. I mean, I'm like incredible. I haven't had that with like ancestors yet. I've had a few things in hotels. One is in the Driscoll Hotel in Austin, and recently, I think maybe 6 months ago or 7 months ago, we were in Edinburgh. My wife and I were in Edinburgh, and we're at this really old hotel that used to be like a train station or a train terminal or something, and we can see the big Castle Arthur seat from our window. And we check in, and it's been a long travel, and we get in, and we go to bed. We feel Jen's like, someone's in here, and I'm like, no one's in here. Not a huge room or anything. But she wasn't saying a person is in there. She's saying like there's something in here, and I'm like, my instinct is to go like, no one's in here. We're fine. In my head, I was like, fucking right, something's in here. We go to bed. I close all the curtains. We go to bed, and the curtains open up. Jen and I are both in bed. The curtains open up, and all the windows are closed, and then the bathroom starts leaking. We're on like the second floor of 6, so I call downstairs to the concierge, and I'm like, I'm not complaining. It's 2 a.m, and I'm like, hey, I don't know if you've had other complaints, but our bathroom, room 209 or whatever, is leaking right beneath the bathtub. And I hate to say this, but you know, we're 4 floors down. I hope someone's not like in their bathtub dead. You know what I mean? Like don't go wake somebody up on my behalf, but there's a lot of it's not even raining outside, and there's a ton of water leaking into our bathroom. And so the guy's like, thank you so much, and goes and checks, and they're like asleep, so they fucking got woken up because I called. But I was just nervous. I was like, well, all I can think is that somebody has the bathtub on and they're dead and it's still just going over. So the guy comes and knocks on our door, the concierge or whatever, the night manager, and he's like, hey, everything's fine. Can we move you to a new room? We're like, no, we're fine. We put some garbage baskets underneath the leaks, and we have some towels down. He brought extra towels. And then he's like, okay, are you sure? Yeah, we're sure. I get back in bed, and our curtains are getting all wonky again. And so literally in this tone of voice, I'm laying in bed with Jen. No one else is in there. And we can hear stuff going on. I can see the curtains kind of moving and then kind of moving back. And I just say, just like this, I say, hey, I say it like out loud. I go, hey, I know you're here. I see you. I want to see you and hear you. Can we do this in the morning? Stops. Literally, it was just sort of like, hey, I know you want to be heard and seen. I know you're there. I see you. I respect you. I'm Sam fucking Winchester. Don't fuck with me. I didn't say that part. I'm embellishing now. But I literally just kind of went like, hey, we know you're here. We see you. We respect you. Can we do this another time? And everything stopped. The bathroom stopped leaking from the roof. The curtains stopped moving. And I was like, okay. Looked at Jen. I was like, let's go to bed. Went to bed. They didn't come back the next night or two, but it was a pretty crazy, like instantly. Yeah.
So all you have to do is ask.
Yeah.
Like, just leave me alone.
Yeah, just, hey, I hear you, but I'm jet lagged. I'm really tired.
Yeah.
Can we do this tomorrow? You know, like, I'll listen better.
Why don't they just do that in The Conjuring and, right?
Right.
The Conjuring, Sinister.
Yeah.
Just say,
Yeah.
not
Not
tomorrow,
today.
just tomorrow.
Yeah, let's schedule this.
Yeah, let's do this in the morning.
Why don't they keep salt on a bungee, you know, to where it can always come back? Thank you, wherever you went. Where are we? Here? Okay, hi.
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 I know I mentioned it to you in the photo op real quick, but I'm a professional wrestler, and I think the episode with professional wrestling stuff was really cool. So I just wanted to know, like, how it was filming that and with The Miz, and like that.
Well, I knew The Miz because we used to be on a basketball team together in LA, and Paul Lazenby is also a dear friend of mine, as is Alec Ponovic. And so we just had a good time. It was just a funny episode. Those guys are huge and throwing each other. They're both 250, 280 something, and they're just launching each other around. I was jealous that Jensen got to do the scene where he goes in, he's trying to pretend he's tough, but we had a great time. It's a legit sport, and good on you, because that's not easy. And keep it up. Proud of you. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to head over to this side.
Yep.
Get 3 questions here.
So I know that we said about favorite episodes earlier, and we kind of touched on it. Was there a specific episode or scene that was your favorite to film? And then part 2, where was the hotel that you were at, Mark? The
in Edinburgh?
Haunted. No, Mark.
Oh,
the
Mark.
haunted.
Oh, it was in Ventura County. It's called the Victorian Rose, and it's a church that's been converted into a bed and breakfast.
Okay, thanks.
Favorite scene to film?
Scene or episode? Scene or episode.
Got it. I'll harken back to something Mark mentioned. I can't think of a scene. I can think of 1,000 scenes, but Baby was incredible to film. It was a nice homage, and you know, the whole conceit of the episode was the Impala is somehow or another involved in every shot. I like the kind of like the term seeing how the sausage is made. So the idea of like seeing the guys, or even there was an episode where like Sam and Dean are doing laundry in the Miniletter's bunker. Like that stuff. I like the big actiony or super emotional or comedic scenes, but seeing what happens, it's like seeing bloopers. Like this is just them like washing their armpits, folding their laundry. That seems so weird. I should like talk to my therapist about why that interests me. But I think the idea of baby, of like them. Okay, I'll go deeper. The scene where Sam and Dean are sleeping in the Impala. I remember vividly shooting that sequence. And we had a bunch of Impalas. Jensen has one now. I have another now. But we had some, like, all the pieces came off. You could take the roof off. You could take the windshield off. You could pull the doors off, take the trunk away. And so we had gotten our Impala to the little pier out there and taken the roof off. And Jensen and I usually, in between takes, we'll go back and go to our trailer or go to the car with Cliff or go do something. But this time we just laid there. We're like, let's just see what this is like. So we just laid there and did our scene, and it was a good time. Yeah, it was that sticks out for sure, vividly.
Do you want it? You go first. You go. I'll go after you.
I always, it's kind of my favorite. I always liked the one where I got to kick the shit out of Mark Shepard.
Oh my God.
But the best part, Jared was in this scene, and the best part was Mark's a giver. Like, as much as we all like to rag on Mark, he's...
On camera.
Oh, yeah. He's he's like, no, I'll just like, yeah, I'll knock myself over. And we're like, that's not necessary. He's like, no, I'm going to do that. And but the best part was Brad Creaser came out, so I had to like punch him and kick him a few times and knock him over. And then Brad, one of our camera operators, he came out with a deli counter, and the crew took a number so they could get in line to also kick the shit out of Mark. So yeah, that was fun.
Did they really?
Yeah. And of
That
course,
is
Mark
hilarious.
loved being
That
the
is
center of that
hilarious.
joke.
I love that.
Yeah, he'll take all the energy.
I love that. I was going to say one of my favorite scenes was bowling Mark Shepard down the aisle and saying, clean up on aisle 7 or whatever I said. I had a great time beating him up because I thought it was a long time coming.
In life? Or
No, I mean, just because he pretended to be the king of hell, so he needed to be put in his place. Anyway, that was really fun.
All right, next question.
Thank you so much for your question.
Thank you.
First of all, Jared, if that beanie is too hot for you, I would happily take it off your hands.
That's terrifying.
Also, I do ghost hunting, so I was wondering what you guys would do if monsters were actually real.
I call
they not?
you. Say, what do I do here? Why do you think monsters aren't actually real?
Well, I know ghosts are real, but I don't know. I don't know.
I always tell, when my kids were little and they were scared of monsters, maybe this is a bad thing, but I'm like, monsters are actually people you know. I think like real monsters, we have this big vision of like Godzilla or these like fictional monsters, but monsters exist in everyday life and we experience them often.
They say in the average lifetime, you've likely been in the same proximity of or even met 100 serial killers in your lifetime. So yeah, there are monsters who are real.
Monsters among us.
But if they were monsters of the type of supernatural, I would be one of two types. I would either kill them or run.
Yeah, I don't know like why we sort of romanticize like survival, like The Walking Dead. I'm like, I don't think I'd want to survive that.
You wouldn't want to live in that world, right?
I'd be like, I'm good. Let's just let it take me.
I'm fast when I'm scared. I got long legs, and I have a good like 7 or 8 seconds of full bore sprint inside me still. Just kidding. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I try and focus on that which I care about.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
good. One
Protecting what you love, making sure what you love is safe. Yeah.
Like we're together.
I guess that makes sense. Like if there is something to live for, then that's why you live.
Focus on that.
Yeah.
So my impulse to use them as bait is probably wrong. Okay.
Kick him in the leg.
I'll try to
and
improve.
run.
I'll try to improve
Your
my
strategy.
Yeah, my strategy.
One more question here, then we'll have time for only 3 more on the
Okay.
other side. So the last question on this side.
Hi, nice to see you guys again. I just wanted to know, out of all the seasons, which character dying off was the saddest for you that you didn't want to see go?
It sucked to see Dean die off. Obviously. Bobby was tough. Bobby was tough. It wasn't it was great television. But, you know, obviously with Mark and Alaina's characters, that was kind of like what Sam and Dean were setting out to do. But with killing off Bobby, it was like, wait, what? And getting rid of the Bobby set and for me, it's even more, not more. For me, additionally, it's locations. Like when we took down Bobby's house or when we took down the Miniletter's bunker, that was visceral. Like I was walking around stealing shit. I was like, what am I going to do with this? I was stealing fake books. I'm like, what am I going to, like, hey, Genevieve, guess what? I have these fake books from a set that we used to have. Like, okay, cool. That belongs in the garbage. Kidding. But I think losing a friend, though it's such a great, important lesson, losing a comrade, whether it's to death or to you're moving or you lose touch or something, was really interesting to explore, and I'm glad the writers did. But I'll stick with Bobby here.
You know what fucked me up? Pardon me for saying that like that. Was Joe's death. Remember Joe? That really messed me up. Yeah. That one was a tough one for me. Bobby too, in a way, because I have a thing for dad figures, so it's like that bothered me too. And so on. But Joe really messed me up. What about you?
Me.
Bravo. This is where you drop the mic.
I just was like, I want to keep playing. Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough. Thank you so much for your question.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Connor. This is a question for you, Jared, specifically. Do you think you could give us any info on your role in The Boys coming up for the new season?
Thank you for the question. I love your shirt. I was going to ask you if you could give me some info. Literally, and I can't wait to do The Boys if it happens, but the extent of the conversations have been, Kripke called, said, hey, dude, so sorry about Walker. Hope you and the family are okay. Love to have you come play on The Boys. And me typing back slowly like, okay, just let me know if I have to get naked so I can start working out again. That's not a word of a lie. I can tweet the screen capture. And he's like, I'll figure it out. All right, call you soon. That was, a month ago or whatever. So his crazy brain is somewhere in some hole writing all this crap right now. But I legitimately, I'm not hiding anything. I don't know. I might just be a strange dude that walks by in the background. But I'm excited, nervous and excited. Thanks, Connor.
I mean, I had to ask Rob Benedict if that was really him. How many of you have seen The Boys? Wait till Splinter comes on. There's an entire, 15 or 20 minute fight scene naked.
Yeah, to our 11-year-old friend from Columbus, Ohio, do not watch it.
Just do not watch The Boys.
Tell your
Season
friends
4.
not to watch it. Kidding. Thank you so much, Connor.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. You? My question is part 2 to Mark and Jared. Why didn't Jack or your actor get along or stuff like that?
Why didn't Jack the actor get along with whom? With me?
Yeah.
You mean on camera? Yeah, Al-Cal, we call him. I love him. We've always gotten along. I think part of it was Sam's. Well, Jack was he's the chosen one, and so I think Sam tried to be there for Jack, where Dean was more scared. But I think Sam still had a wall up. He was trying to be who he could be. But I think ultimately, Jack's role in the story was such that he had to be a lone wolf, because he was the one that would ultimately make every decision. So that's my best guess. Yeah.
Got time for one more question.
Thank you so much.
You guys are headed back to your table to sign, photo ops, all that stuff?
Okay.
Okay, probably back to sign. Here's the last question. Oh, how about that? Last question. Hope it's a good one.
Hi, I'm Katie. I'm 13, and I recently got into an art school for acting.
Wow.
And I'm wondering if you have any advice on like how to actually like adapt to going on screen and actually being on set with other actors who may be more experienced than you.
Who may be more experienced? If you can, pick their brains. Ask them how they do what they do. Every set that I've worked on, I've worked with people who are amazing. Aside from Jared and everybody on the set for Supernatural, when I was with Philip Seymour Hoffman, we talk acting the whole time. And I pick his brain about his process, or Chris Cooper, or Jeff Bridges, or Jeff Goldblum. Anybody I work with whose work I admire, I ask them how they do what they do. What do they recommend for somebody? How do they apply it in the work process? Because it's different. You'll learn things in school that you're going to have trouble applying in real life because there's so many obstacles, to deal with when you're working in film. And so talk to them and get experience from them. And most of all, treat acting like a craft. Learn your craft. Learn plays, read everything you can, get on stage as much as possible, and play. Just play.
Yeah, I agree. I think we can kind of really get in our head and take it so seriously, and ultimately it is a form of play. I just taught a class on Momentous, and it should be available, bemomentous.us, but on this very specific thing. My 2 older kids are both modeling and acting, and I've had such a great opportunity to mentor them, and I'm like, where was I when I was this age? And I think there's so much more to the business than the craft of acting, which you'll find your own process with, and to Mark's point, ask questions, be curious. I didn't know I could have friendships with directors and writers. I didn't think I was like worthy of that in my earlier years, and so just learning and being confident in my artistry and what I bring to it, I think you learn along the way. But all the little things about the business, about how do you deal with the intangibles? Nobody really teaches you that in an acting class. How do you deal with 62 rejections before you get a job? Because that's a very real component to have a career 30, 20, 30, 40 years in. We've had a lot of failures as well. So it's dealing with those things, and I don't think there's enough information about that. So I would ask those questions. I read a lot of biographies, and all different people of levels of success, and we have very similar human qualities of worthiness and imposter syndrome, and so I just think studying people it is what our craft is, but it's also so important for our longevity in our careers.
Amen to both. I agree with both of what they just said. I would say this, and this is going to sound strange. Somebody told me one time, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. And the way I digested that and try to still digest that is that if you're a little uncomfortable, if you feel out of place, that's probably great, because that means that somebody else knows something that you don't yet. So let me listen to them. Let me hear about their experiences. And to their point, whether it's reading autobiographies or reading books in general, the more stories you can read about that aren't similar to your own, the better you will be able to understand trying to tell stories that aren't similar to your own. So just be a sponge. Take in everything, and then you'll have more to pull from. But congratulations. And again, and thank you. And thank you to all you so much. I know it's not cold in here. Have an awesome weekend.
Thank you.
We'll see you later.
Give it up.
Thanks, guys.
The Supernatural. Head back to their table. Hang out. Give it up. Supernatural panel. Excellent job, everyone. Nicely done.